with an interesting reading. I don't remember if we did this chapter, which is the we saw how to get cooperation. Remember, we got that,
Yes, sure, we did
and
it.
then I don't know if we saw a formula that will work wonders for you. Did we see that, or we
No,
did?
sure,
No. Why don't
we
we read
didn't.
that a little bit?
Hmm.
That is the follow up of this fantastic book that I love, and then we discuss it a little bit. Like the idea?
Yes, sure.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So let's talk about a formula that will work wonders for you. Can you read that? Who wants to read first?
Me.
Okay, Mitch, thank you.
Uh, to which part?
From
Which?
here to human relations, all this section, please.
Okay. A formula that will work wonders for you. Remember that other people may be totally wrong, but they don't think so. Don't, how could I
Condemn them.
condemn them. Any fool can do that. Try to understand them. Only wise, tolerant, exceptional people even try to do that. There is a reason why the other man thinks and acts as he they does. Figure out that reason, and you have the key to his actions, perhaps to his personality. Try honestly to put yourself in his place. If you say to yourself, how will I feel? Who will I react if I were in his shoes? You will save yourself time and irritation for by becoming interested in the cause. We are less likely to dislike the effect. And in addition, you will sharply. What is that, teacher?
Sharply, in, in this case, they use it as very much. You will very much increase your skill. You will. Sharp is something which is acute, is not smooth but sharp pointed. Like a knife can be sharp to cut, but in this case, they refer to it as very much potential to increase your skill in human relations.
Okay, thank you. Sharply increase your skill in human relationships.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So, what do you think about the idea, Mitch, Mickey, of putting yourself in the other person's shoes in situations where the other person says, "No, no, no, wait, I am right. No, you're right. No, you am right." What do you think about this idea, Mitch or Mickey?
Yeah, I think sometimes we, on the form unconscious, we think that everyone thinks like us, and or I don't know, if we see someone that is doing something wrong, and we think, why is he doing this? He's doing so wrong. It's too easy. It's but he are or she I think are thinking that they are doing the things right, and the others are wrong. It's a infinite discussion, endless discussion of a society of the different
Points of view. Points of view or
points of view.
viewpoints.
Uh huh.
Yes, 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 exactly. Very good. Yes, exactly. You're very right, Mitch, with your comment. Mickey, what do you think? Is it practical to put ourselves sometimes in the other person's shoes to try to understand the situation? What do you think? Is that practical?
Yes, sure. I think that is so practical because sometimes you don't understand uh, the things that the other person are seeing, and when you put in the other person, in the shoes of the other person, you probably could understand why he or she thinks in this way or not in another way. And it's better because I think that it's too hard to convince completely another person. So when you try to understand the other person, it's most probably that you're gonna uh, be agreed with them and not gonna uh, occasionate a fight or a discussion.
Exactly. Yes, 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 you're right. Normally, most corals, as I understand, most corals, which is verbal discussions take place as a result of trying to hold the I am right position, which is very common actually. Yes,
Hmm.
most quarrels, most arguments, people argue, but they say, I'm right, you're wrong. Normally, that's why they argue, they discuss. And this is very common. Don't think that this is unusual or this happens only to us. This happens to everyone in the galaxy. So this is very, very human to say it in other words.
Yes.
It's very, very common. So no, I am right. No, 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 you are wrong. No, no, I am right. So if we put ourselves in the shoes of the other person, it's going to be easier for us to understand, because he's in this situation, now I understand, etc. So it's a very
Yeah.
positive feeling. Let's continue, please. Can we continue from stop a minute, Mickey, please?
Yes, sure. Stop a minute, says Kenneth M. Good in his book How to Turn People into Gold. Stop a minute to construct your keen interest in your own affairs with your mild concern about anything else. Realize then that everybody else in the world feels exactly the same way. Then, along with Lincoln and Roosevelt, you will have grasped the only solid foundation for interpersonal relationships, namely that success in dealing with people depends on a sympathetic grasp of the other person's viewpoint.
Exactly. I think Mitch is back. Okay, you're back, Mitch. Okay, can you read down to here, Mickey, please, and then we let Mitch continue.
Okay, sure, yes. Sam Douglas of Hempstead, New York, used to tell his wife that she spent too much time working on their lawn, pulling weeds, fertilizing, cutting the grass twice a week when the lawn didn't look any better than it had when they moved into their home 4 years earlier. Naturally, she was distressed by his remarks, and each time he made such remarks, the balance of the evening was ruined.
Okay, thank you very much, Mickey. Is it not common that some people, maybe us occasionally, or some other people, uh, criticize or criticize uh, or put someone down without considering how the other people feel or how the other people think? Um, have you seen people do that? I have seen people do that.
Yes, for sure.
Sometimes I have been guilty of this myself, and then I think, well, maybe I could have done things differently. What do you think about this, Mitch, Mickey?
Yes, well, happened to me a lot of
Okay,
times. Sometimes I criticized, I say correctly,
criticized, yes.
hmm other people, and I didn't realize why they're doing in this way and not in another way, or why they act in this way, or not in another. And well, my recommendation is that the best way to have a good relationship with other people is not criticize them because you don't know how they feel it or why they act in this way. And yeah, don't
Yes,
criticize.
yes, yes. Very good. Yeah, very good. Exactly. Very good idea. Thank you, Mickey. Mitch, what do you think about these comments, these last paragraphs?
Hmm. Well, I think the same as Mickey. Well, I then I think if responsibility for us trying every day, trying to not uh, critique so much the actions of the other people if they are don't doing anything wrong. I mean, uh, hurting a lot of other people. That's pretty pretty. I oh my god, sorry, my vocabulary is
No, it's fine. It's fine. You say it's easy to criticize other people. Yeah, we
yeah.
normally become critics of other people, right? Yeah, and that's actually common in many people. Being too critic can be being or behaving, right? Behaving too critically, too critically, too critically. can hamper a good relationship, right? Being or behaving, if you behave too critically, if I am very critical of other people, that can hamper is damage. That can damage. That can damage a good relationship. Maybe there is a very good relationship between two people, but one of them starts criticizing the other constantly, for no or maybe, yeah, it's okay if you feel annoyed. For example, maybe the neighbors have a very loud party and I cannot sleep that night, and I feel all these neighbors have no respect, and this, why don't they go to a celebration or party? But maybe they have a difficult situation and suddenly something good happened to them and they feel really happy. I don't know, there may be
Mhm.
many things and that happen that we don't know. So the best thing also is, as you say, to accumulate information and then make an internal judgment. But okay,
Yes.
okay, guys, thank you very much. Let's see what happened here. Mitch, can you read please from after taking our course down to weeds here, please?
After taking our course, Mr. Douglas realized how foolish oh boy, he had been all those years. It never occurred to him that she enjoyed doing that work and she might really appreciate a compliment of her diligence. One evening after dinner, his wife said she wanted to pull some weeds and invite him to give
Invited him.
Invited.
Invited
invited
him.
him invited him to keep her company. He first declined, but he then thought better of it and went out after her and began to help her pull weeds. He was visibly pleased, and together they spent an hour in hard work and pleasant conversation. After that, he often helped her with the gardening and complimented on her and how fine the looked. What a fantastic job she was doing with a jar where the soil was like concrete. Result a happier life for both because he had learned to look at things from her point of view, even if the subject was only weeds. What means
Ex-
weeds, teacher?
Weeds, excuse me. It's like the grass.
Cricket?
Excuse me. It's like the grass, but the longer pieces of the grass. So the grass can be even or uneven, but the longer weeds, the longer plants are the weeds when they are useless, right? Weeds.
Mhm.
So it's like the maleza, and it's really
Mhm.
uh, common for ladies, also for men, to pull out weeds, which is good. And so the man went to help her. That was a positive thing. What do you think of the result of this action, Mickey? How do you think the lady felt when the husband not only stopped criticizing, but also he decided to compliment her on her work, on her job? What do you think?
Mm, well, I think that is a great idea to have a good relationship with other people because they think that their ideas are important for you, and that works. I don't know. I don't have a lot of to say in this part. Just that.
Okay, very good, excellent, very nice. And what do you think? What do you think, Mitch, about what the man decided to do? He changed his behavior. Instead of criticizing the wife, he decided to help her pull out the weeds of the garden, and then it was a teamwork. What do you think about that?
One moment. I'm close the. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's very healthy to understand the point of view of the other people. The relationships between people are pretty important. I think it's better to understand and tolerate the point of view of the others instead of critics do to give destructive critics to the others because if you are rude or being the most probably is they never gonna take your critic and even if it's even if it's negative, doesn't work like that. And that could be in any context on the family, between friends, between classmates, between teamwork. We have to
Okay.
understand the point of view of the others. That's it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I can be very critic. I can be very critical, but my criticism will not be taken or will not be easily accepted, right? So it's important to try not to be very critical, not to be very critical. As a general rule, even if it is with a good intention, normally criticism comes out of a good intention, in particular if it is out of a family member or a friend. Normally will be with a good intention, but also we need to be, it's a touchy situation. We need to be
Mm-hmm.
What
very
is
tactful.
touchy?
Touchy that it can hurt people, it can
Uh,
be annoying, it can be like a little bit intrusive, it can look intrusive, right? It can feel intrusive. It can feel intrusive if you don't invite for it. If I tell you, um, Mitch, Mickey, what do you think of my shirt? Well, maybe you say, well, you know what? Maybe you can use more formal shirts or less formal, more casual, whatever. But if I don't ask Mickey, if I don't Mitch, and you tell me, hey, teacher, your shirt looks too pink, or looks too white, or looks too, I say, oh, well, yeah, maybe yes, but it can feel intrusive. Or if I tell um, something, if I make an opinion, if I make a criticism, even if it is positive, but I was not invited to it, it can
Mm-hmm.
feel a little bit intrusive among family, friends, colleagues, classmates, etc. Right? So
Yeah.
when I say it's a touchy subject, that means that it requires um, it's tact. You need to be very tactful, right? We need to be very tactful, to have a lot of tact with people, because it's a touchy subject, right? Very good, guys. Well, let's see. Can we read the next paragraph, please? You guys are doing well. In his book, Getting Through
Yes,
to
sure.
People. Okay, Mickey, please.
In his book, Getting Through to People, Dr. Gerald S. Nirenberg commented, cooperativeness in conversation is achieved when you show that you consider the other person's idea and feelings as important as your own. Starting your conversation by giving the other person the purpose of the direction of your conversation. Governing what you say by what you would want to hear if you were the listener, and accepting his or her viewpoint will encourage the listener to have an open mind to your ideas.
Okay, can you read down to here, Mickey, please? Down to conflagration.
Mhm. I have always enjoyed walking and riding in a park near my home. Like the tourists of ancient Gaul, I both worshipped an oak tree, so I was distressed, season after season, to see the young trees and shrubs killed off by needless fires. These fires weren't caused by careless smokers. They were almost all caused by youngsters who went out the park to go native and cook a frankfurter, or an egg under the trees. Sometimes these fires raged so fiercely that the fire department had to be called out to fight the conflagration.
Okay, very nice. Thank you very much, Mickey.
Yes, sir.
Mitch, can you continue reading from here, please? Down to the end of the paragraph.
Um, There was a sign of the edge of the park saying that anyone who started a fire was liable to fine and imprisonment, but the sign stood in an unfrequented part of the park. A few of the culprits ever saw it. A mounted policeman was supposed to look after the park, but he didn't take his duties too seriously, and the fires continued to spread season after season. On one occasion, I rushed up to a policeman and told him about a fire spreading rapidly through the park and want him to notify the fire department. And he nonchalantly, what means that, teacher? Nonch-
Nonchalantly,
uh,
not with a lot of elegance, but like despising the man, like like saying I don't care, like nonchalantly.
okay. He nonchalantly replied that it was none of his business because it wasn't in his precinct. I was desperate, so after that, when I went reading, I act as a self-appointment
Committee.
committee of one to protect the public domain. In the beginning, I am afraid I didn't even attempt to see the other people' point of view. When I saw fire blazing under the trees, I was so unhappy about it, so eager to do the right thing. What means eager, teacher?
Eager, willing, with a lot of a big intention to do something. I had a big intention, deseoso de hacer la cosa correcta, right? Eager.
Okay. So eager to do the right thing that I did the wrong thing. I would write up to the boys, warn them that they could be jailed for starting a fire, order with a tone of authority that it be put out, and if they refuse, I would threaten to have them arrested. I was merely of unloading my feelings without thinking of the point of view, of their point of view.
Okay, very good, Mitch. Thank you very much. So normally, what is the result of of threatening someone? We can invite, we can warn, or we can threat people, right, to do something.
Right.
Threat is amenazar. So we
Oh,
can invite,
Mhm.
invite. We can convince, we can persuade. They are very similar. We can threaten people to do something. And maybe if we threaten a person, of course, you sometimes can uh, get what you want, right? I'm not saying that you will not get what you want, but one of the consequences of inviting, convincing, persuading people, or threatening people to do something. What do you think, Mickey, Mitch? What do you think can be the result of inviting, convincing, persuading, or threatening people to do something?
Um, well, yes, all depends of the way that you're saying the things. For example, if you are saying in a rude mode, or yes, in a rude way, probably the response that you're gonna get is gonna be negative. But instead, you do in a good way. You talk, you say your why you see that this thing is bad or is good, and you try to convince the other people. The most probably is that you're gonna have a positive response. So it's too important to say the things in a good way or not in a rude way to get
Very nice.
a better answer.
Exactly, exactly. Very good. Mitch, what happens when people threat other people? When there are threats, when we threaten a person, when a teacher threatens a student, if you don't bring your homework, I will call your father or your mother in this moment. If you, whatever, right? If we threat people, if we threat our friends, if we threat people, what can be the response? Even if they accept or they oblige or they concede to our pretensions, what can be the result when we threaten people?
um, mostly would be they feel fear of angry, but if they accept, maybe I don't know how to say the mala gana.
Unwillingly,
Uh-huh. Will.
they will accept unwillingly, right? Yes. And do you think it also creates resentment or it
Yeah,
doesn't
yes, of course.
create resentment?
Uh,
And maybe
that's
like in the case of these kids, they do it at the beginning, but then when you go, they go back to doing the things, right? So it
mm-hmm.
creates resentment, and then when the thread disappears, they continue doing the action because they are not convinced. They don't have the conviction that putting smokes or putting fires in a park can create fires that are going to pollute the environment. All right. Very good, guys. Thank you. What can we continue here? The result, please.
Yes, sure. The result? They obeyed suddenly and with resentment. After I rode on over the hill, they probably rebuilt the fire and longed to burn up the whole park. With the passing of the years, I acquired a trifle more knowledge of human relations, a little more tact, a somewhat greater tendency to see things from other person's standpoint. Then, instead of giving orders, I would ride off to a blazing fire and begin something like this. Having a good time, boys? What are you going to cook for supper? I loved to build fires myself when I was a boy, and I still love to. But they are very dangerous here in the park. I know you boys don't mean to do any harm, but other boys aren't so careful. They come along and see that you have built a fire. So they build one and don't put it out when they go home, and it spreads among the dry leaves and kill the trees. Continue?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you very much, Mickey.
Mhm.
So he's warning the guys, but he's warning them in a good way, in a positive way. Very, very nice. Let's continue, Mitch. Please, can we continue from here to here to see what happened?
We won't have any trees here at all if we aren't more carefully. You could be put in jail for building this fire, but I don't want to be bossy and interfere with your pleasure. I like to see you enjoy yourself, but won't you please rake all the leaves away from the fire right now? You'll be careful to cover it with dirt, a lot of dirt, before you leave, won't you? Before you leave, won't you? And the next time you want to have some fun, won't you please boil some you fire over the hill there there in the sandpit? It can't do any harm there. Thanks so much, boys. Have a good time. Uh,
Okay, very nice.
What
Okay,
a
very
difference that kind of talk made. It made the boys want to cooperate. No sullenness. What means sullenness?
sullenness. When you are sullen, sullen means that you do something with no willingness. You drag your feet. You don't feel the. You do it with boredom, not with energy, but like dragging your feet. Okay, and resentment is the same.
Yeah. Mindfulness, no resentment. They hadn't been forced to obey orders. They had saved their faces. They felt better, and I felt better because I had handled the situation with consideration for their point of view. Saying things through another person's eyes may ease tension with personal when personal problems become over what? Over
Overwhelming,
Calming.
very heavy,
overwhelming. What's that?
very heavy. That they are extremely heavy. Problems become overwhelming. They are intolerantes, intolerable, overwhelming.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'll
Okay.
continue.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me talk to Mickey for a moment and ask him. What do you think of the new way in which this man talked to the kids, Mickey? Do you think he became more polite, more kinder, a bit kinder, or what do you think?
Yes, sure, of course. When you are a polite person and you try to see to the other people why the things that they are doing are bad or are wrong or are right, the other people can notice that the other points of view and act in the way that you want to they act. So the best way is to be polite with the people and don't be rude with them.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Can you continue reading from here, Mickey, where it says Elizabeth Novak?
Elizabeth Novak of New South Wales, Australia, was 6 weeks late with her car payment. On a Friday, she reported, I received a nasty phone call from the man who was handling my account informing me if I did not come up with 122 by Monday morning, I could anticipate further action from the company. I had no way of raising the money over the weekend, so when I received his phone call first thing on Monday morning, I expected the worst. Instead of becoming upset, I looked at the situation from his point of view. I apologized most sincerely for causing him so much inconvenience, and remarked that I must be his most troublesome customer as this was not the first time I was behind in my payments. His tone of voice changed immediately, and he assured me that I was far from being one of his really troublesome customers. He went on to tell me several examples of how rude his customers sometimes were, how they lied to him and often tried to avoid talking to him at all. I said nothing. I listened and let him pour out his troubles to me. Then, without any suggestion from me, he said it did not matter if I couldn't pay all the money immediately. It would be alright if I paid him 20 by the end of the month and made up the balance whenever it was convenient for me to do so.
Okay, this is very, very interesting. So originally, the first claim of the man was that she had to pay $122 upfront next Monday. If not, further action would take place. What do you think he meant when he said further action? What was he probably referring to? What was he referring to when he said further action will take place? What was the threat?
Probably that the car uh, is gonna be um, uh, take out her car.
The car
Oh
could
yeah.
be
Okay.
taken. Yeah, that
Okay.
could be one
Taken.
thing. The other could be that maybe the company could take legal action too, right? That could be
Mm-hmm.
another of the possible situation. What could
Yeah.
be the other consequence of the $122 threat that the person made?
Mm, probably more. I forgot the word. Deuda. How can I say it?
Debt,
That.
increased
Yeah.
debt.
Increase that.
Yeah, very good, Mickey. What do you think, Mitch, about the possible consequences when he said further action? I'm going to take further action. What was he referring to?
What was the meaning of further?
Additional, later action, future action. He's going to take future action, maybe legal action. Maybe, as Mickey was saying, maybe they're going to take the car. If he doesn't make a payment, they can take the car. So further action can be many things in this case. It can be legal action. It can be economic action. It can be financial, additional fines or taxes, more money to charge, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see. But then the lady said, you know what? You're right. Instead of trying to avoid him, instead of trying to hang up, instead of saying, hey, don't bother me or whatever, she said, you know what? I apologize. I must be very, very bad as a customer. I'm really sorry about this situation. And she was very humble. What happened with the man? His tone of voice changed immediately. And he said to me that I was far from being one of the troubled customers, that he had other worse customers. So he changed totally. Why do you think this normally happens when you become humble, when you become, yeah, normally humble, right? More modest in your response. You don't get angry, but you say, "Oh, you know what, you're right. what happens with the other person? Why do they normally become more merciful, more considerate? Why does this happen normally, Mitch?
Mm. Oof. Because when someone is altered, I know.
Altered, yes, or loses his temper.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Loses his their temper.
Yes.
No, I don't know how to explain.
Well, you
Mm,
realize what happened, right? The man was accusing the lady, hey, you need to pay by Monday. And she says, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I am late. I must be probably one of your worst customers. And she became, instead of trying to deny it, instead of saying, no, you're wrong. No, I'm not going to pay. Hey, hang up and so on. She became very humble. She said, you know what? You're right. I apologize. Sorry. I'm late and blah, blah, blah. And then
Mm-hmm.
the man changed his manners, became very kind, very polite, very understanding, and actually told her, look, pay only $20 by the end of the month. So his attitude changed. So why do people become more considerate? Why did he become more considerate in
okay.
this case?
Yep. Well, I said, when someone lose their temperament, only something kind of dummy like give them the la razón.
Yeah,
That
well, yeah, you agree, you consent to their demands, right? You
uh
consent.
you consent with them, and they gonna feel uh,
They're gonna feel.
better
Yeah, of course, of course.
and
Yes,
more
exactly.
comfortable. With
Exactly, exactly. And as a
the
result of that, they will be more considerate.
consent.
Yeah, very good. Excellent comment. Thank you very much, Mitch. Thank you, Mickey. Well, let's read the next section where it says tomorrow. And here, please, can you read this?
Yes, sure. Me, right?
Yes, please. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think. uh, Tomorrow, before asking anyone to put out a fire or buy your product or contribute to your favorite charity, why not pause and close your eyes and try to think the whole thing through from another person's point of view? Ask yourself, why should he or she want to do it? True, this will take time, but it will avoid making enemies and we'll get better results, and with less friction and less chew later. I would rather walk the sidewalk in front of persons of office for 2 hours before an interview, said Dean Dunham of the Harvard Business School, than step into an office without a perfectly clear idea of what I was doing to say and what that person, from my knowledge of his or her interests and motives, was likely to answer.
Very good. Very good. So let's continue, Mitch. It's going to be repeating this sentence. He wants to emphasize this. That's why he puts it in italics. Can you read this, Mitch, please, here? That is
Yeah,
important.
that is so important that I am going to repeat in it italics for the sake of emphasis. I would rather walk the sidewalk in front of a person for 2 hours before an interview than step into the office without a perfectly clear idea of what I was going to say and what that person, from my knowledge of his or her interest and motives, was likely to answer.
Yes, yes. What is the probable answer of the person? What is he likely to answer? Well, this is very important. You want to be convinced of the person's answer. That's what he really says. That's what he is really saying. We want to be convinced or fully understand what the other person is going to say. So we want to be convinced or we want to be sure what the other person is likely to answer. Why do you think this is important, Mickey?
Because when you understand the point of view of other people, you can stay understand why they act in this way or in another way, and it's better that imposed to do something. It's better to only understand why they're acting in this way, and later of that, try to convince them.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you very much, Mitch. What do you think about this? Why is it so important to understand what the other person can say to us in a relationship?
Mm, to oh boy, this vocabulary in English is new for me. But, mm, to oof, to the ideas don't choquen demasiado.
Don't fight with each other. Okay, that's a good comment. So that the ideas or don't conflict, don't conflict with each other. Well, that's a good comment actually. You want to make sure that the ideas don't conflict with each other, right? That can also happen. That can also happen. You can tell your friends, let's go to the theater, and they can say, no, let's go to the movies, and the other person can say, no, let's go for a pizza. So everyone has a different idea.
Mhm.
But of course, when you make the invitation, you want to make sure that they will more or less accept your idea, right? Is very difficult. It's very improbable that you tell them, "Hey, let's go out for an ice cream." Well, maybe for a pizza. Well, and the other person says, "No, let's go on vacation." Well, no, that's totally different. That
Hmm.
is an unexpected answer. So you want to make sure that the answer will be more or less in a certain area, right? More or
Yeah.
less similar to what you are proposing, not totally different, right? Okay, very good, guys. Let's finish this paragraph and then we move on to another activity. Um, let's read this, please. Who wants to read this?
Mitch?
Okay, Mitch, you want to
Okay.
read it? If as a result,
If, as a result of reading this book, you get only one thing an increased tendency to think always in terms of the other, a person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as your own, if you get only that one thing from this. Could you scroll down, teacher, please?
yes.
Uh, that one thing from this book, it might easily prove to be one of the stepping stones of your career. What means stepping stones?
It's a stone that will be like a step in a ladder, right? A stepping stone
Hmm.
is one of the things that will give you an impulse in your career. Like this, you have this, right?
Yeah.
You have a stair, and then is made of stone. So a stepping stone is a stone that will let you move up in your career. It's a very helpful, very useful stone in the ladder that will allow you to go up in your career.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this? Principle 8, Mickey, can you read it and explain what you think of it?
Yes. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Well, in conclusion, I think that before say something or criticize something, uh, you need to put in the shoes of the other person and try to understand why this person act in this way or think this way or wants this and not this. And when you understand this reason, probably you could convince her or his to do what you want to do it, or just understand them.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. It's very good to understand people if you put yourself in the other person's shoes. And what do you think about this, Mitch? About this principle 8? What is your understanding of this?
Um, well, I think we with that we can order of thoughts or more easily if we understand all the point of views and the endless kind of point of views of the people, uh, little by little. uh, I don't know, because maybe because we can have a truly stronger relationships with the others.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You will understand them better, and the relation will grow stronger. Excellent, excellent job, guys. Thank you very much. Uh, I would like to move on to our grammar book, and then maybe come back to, if we have time, to the book that we have also read quite a bit, which is the 12 Factors of Business Success. It has many chapters that we haven't read.
Mhm.
But first of all, I would like to do a couple of exercises maybe. And I think that we were the other day somewhere like in section 4 or 5, if I'm right. Mixed conditionals. I think we reviewed section. No, we were in section 5, right? I think
Yes, teacher.
section 5, I believe. For me. Oh no, I'm sorry. We did
Six.
six.
Unit
Yes,
6.
Unit 6. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Mickey. So let's see. Modern science. We did this.
Mm-hmm.
We did this.
Yes.
Was cut off. Right. We did that. We did E2, right?
Yes, teacher.
And we did this, the extra word too.
Mm-hmm.
Also G. Um, we did this too, also, remember? Wooden teeth. So review, and we reviewed,
Mm-hmm.
we did
Yes.
the review as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I think we're ready for unit 7 now. Articles, countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, this is very useful because sometimes the article is not used as in Spanish when we always say la naturaleza, right? In English, sometimes when we speak in generalities, we don't include the article the. For example, you can say, I love nature. And people tend to say, I love the nature. But the word the is not necessary in
Mm-hmm.
English because we're
But,
speaking.
sorry, teacher. It's incorrect if we say I love to nature, or sounds weird.
Sounds weird. People, what people will ask you is the nature. That means that you're trying to be specific. They're going to ask you, which nature, Mickey? They will not think that you're speaking in general. They're going to think that you're speaking the nature of Chiapas, for example, of Chiapas.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Now I
And then you
understand.
say, they will ask you, you say, I love the nature. They will ask you, which one? Oh, the nature of Chiapas. Or if you just say the nature in general, you love nature. So
Okay, true.
uh, when we say the in English is because we want to specify the nature of Chiapas or the nature of La Huasteca Potosina or the nature of some
Mm,
specific place, but not in general.
okay, okay.
And we're going to see many examples of that here. So let's read the grammar description, please. Can somebody read indefinite article?
Yes, sir. Indefinite article. There are two indefinite articles in English, a and n. And is used before vowel sounds. Use example. Singular countable nouns. When we are not being specific or when we mention something for the first time, there's a good film on TV night tonight.
Okay. Then it says, watch out. Take care, be careful of something.
Watch out. Whether we use and or a depends on the sound, not the spelling. The news on TV in an hour. Being in a film was a unique experience for me.
Exactly. So if the sound is hard, it is like a consonant. For example, some words that are hard with H, horse, then hair. Other word that has a soft, a hard sound. Um, what else? Horse, hair, uh, and well, I put some words that have a soft sound like air and hour. So in these cases, what do you say? A horse or an horse?
A horse,
A horse. Hair,
a hare,
a hair, exactly. And then when you receive an inheritance or when you are the heir, what is this? An heir or a heir?
an heir,
An heir, exactly. He was an heir of a fortune. He inherited a fortune from his grandmother or his great grandmother, etc. Right? An heir. And the last one, Mitch,
An hour.
an hour, exactly. This also happens with some words that begin with the letter U. For example, U has two sounds as a diphthong, which is unique, for example, a unique present. So how do you say a unique or ununique? What is correct?
Uh, unique. A?
A unique, right? A unique present. Can you
Why?
read it, please? A unique present, because
A
you,
unique.
yeah, yeah, perfect. Yes, correct. Because you has the diphthong, so you use you as if it was a consonant, like the J, right? A unique present. Another example, the word umbrella. How do you say here, Mickey? A or an umbrella?
an umbrella,
An umbrella, exactly. Because in this case, umbrella, U has the sound of a vowel, an umbrella, right? An
mhm.
umbrella. Well, we're gonna see many examples in here. Let's continue. Can you continue, Mitch, with definite article?
Mhm. Both lines?
Definite article? Yeah, all the lines down to zero.
Definite article. There is one article in English, the. Use singular or countable nouns when we are being specific. For example, where's the DVD you were talking about? Singular countable nouns where we are talking generally. The radio seems missing the people at first. Plural countable nouns when we are being specific. I didn't believe the rumors about the prime minister. Uncountable nouns when we are being specific. I followed the advice my lawyer gave me.
Very good, thanks. The considerations, can you read them too, please, Mitch?
Watch out. The
They,
way
they,
to, huh?
yes, yes, those, please.
Watch out. The way we say the changes depending of the sound at the start of the next word before a consonant sound. Consonant sound. The media of the USA, the program. Yes, it's program.
Program,
Program. We pronounce it that before a
the.
vowel. Huh?
Yeah, it says the, and the other is the, the, the announcer, the actor, the editor, and the other is the media, the USA, the program. It's just a small difference in the pronunciation. The. Okay, the second, Mitch, please. Before a vowel sound.
For a vowel sound, the announcer, the actor, the editor, we pronounce it oi.
The, the,
The,
the.
the, the. We
Yes.
often use the when we are talking about something there is only one of. The sky, the sun, the moon, the Prince of Wales, the North Pole, the World Cup.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much. That is so important then. And then there is a situation when we have zero article. When we put no article here. Can you read it, Mickey, please?
Yes, sure. Zero article. We often don't use an article at all. This is sometimes called the zero article. Use example. Plural countable nouns. When we are talking generally, journalists often face dangerous situations. Uncountable nouns. When we are talking generally, news travels fast these days.
Okay, why news that is plural has troubles? Well, remember that news is also singular, right? News, right? And then we say two news. This is one of those strange cases that both the singular and the plural have an S. A similar situation happens with series. A series, right, is this case, and two series, right? These are two interesting cases where both the singular and the plural have an S. It's uncommon. Yes, it's uncommon, but this is the case. Right. Who wants to continue reading articles in phrases and expressions? Please.
Me.
Okay.
Articles, phrases, and expressions. Notice how we use articles in the following phrases and expressions. Many of these are examples of general categories. For example, the river Thames
Yes.
means, means that we use the for all rivers. Use time. Definite article in the
1990s. 1990s.
1990s. In the summer, in the morning, zero article in 2008 in June on Friday at night. People at and work. Indefinite article have a job work as a definite article. The queen, the principal, the president, the French. Zero article become president, go to work, be at work, have a work to do. He's French. Places, definite article, the Alps, the Atlantic Ocean, the River Thames, the Earth, the Arctic, the USA, the UQ, the Cyclades, Zero Article, Mount Everest, Paris, America, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, etc., Oxford Street, Lake Superior, Crete,
Crete.
Crete, Entertainment and Sport. Definite article, the media, on the radio, play the guitar, go to the cinema, watch the TV. Zero article, listen to music on television, play tennis, football, etc. Organization, definite article, the army, the police, the fire brigade,
Brigade.
brigade, education, oh boy, definite article, go to schools as a visitor, be in the first year. Zero article, go to school as a student, be in class 3B, maths. Indefinite article, take a taxi, catch at the bus.
The bus.
Definite article, on the bus. Zero article, on foot, go home, go by bus. Um, Indefinite article, have a cold, headache, cough. Definite article, have the flu,
Missiles.
measles. Zero article, have a tooth,
Toothache. Toothache.
toothache, tooth.
Toothache. Oh, my tooth. Oh, my tooth. Toothache.
Oh boy. Definite article, the bank, the tax office, go to the hospital, prison as a visitor. Zero article, go to hospital, prison, church as a patient, prisoner, worshipper.
Very good, Mitch. Thank you very much. Now there are some differences between the American English and the United Kingdom English. Can you take a look at these, Mickey, and then read the countable and uncountable nouns, please, too? So, speakers of American English.
Yes, sure. Speakers of American English don't usually use hospital without an article. US, the ambulance took Simon to the hospital. UK, the ambulance took Simon to hospital.
To hospital, yes, exactly.
to
So
hospital.
it's a use that the Americans have. The Americans normally say to the hospital, and
Yeah.
the British tend to say they took him to hospital. Well, let's continue, Mickey, please, with countable and uncountable nouns. Can you please?
Yes, sure. Countable and uncountable nouns. Type example. Countable nouns. Use a, the, some, many. Use singular or plural verbs. I want to be a journalist. Where is the newspaper? There are some good articles in the paper. How many channels do you get? Uncountable nouns. Use the, some, much. Use a singular verb. Did you hear the news? Some important news has just come in. How much information do we have about it? Your advice was very useful. Common uncountable nouns: advice, coffee, furniture, glass, hair, homework, information, knowledge, luggage, money, news, paper, work.
Okay, watch out. What should we watch out in these cases, please?
Me?
Yes, please. Most uncountable nouns.
Watch out. Most uncountable nouns are singular, but a few are plural. These include clothes, scissors, jeans, spectacles, trousers, groceries, etc. With these words we use a plural verb. Oh no, my new clothes are dirty. Some nouns are countable with one meaning and uncountable with another meaning. Do you think you could bring me a clean glass? Countable. We should make computer monitors out of
Recycled.
recycled glass. Uncountable.
Exactly. Exactly. So, in some contexts, the word can be singular, and some others can be countable or uncountable. Actually, you can say glass, for example, a glass of water, right? A glass of water is I need I need a glass of water, right? And that is countable or uncountable. What is glass here? Countable or uncountable?
Countable?
Countable, exactly, because you can count one glass of water, two glasses of water, etc. And if you say the window is made of glass, in this case, what is glass? Countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable, exactly. Right? This is one case where it's countable or uncountable. There is another situation. For example, chicken. There are three. Okay, let's see. There is a chicken. There is a chicken in my kitchen. There's a chicken in my kitchen. Okay. There is a chicken in my kitchen. What is this? Chicken is countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Countable.
Countable. Right. Countable. Countable. And if you say don't I don't really like chicken. What are you saying here? Countable or uncountable? What is this?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. So in this case, we are using the we are using the nouns in both ways with countable or uncountable meaning, right? So we need to be able to differentiate that. Okay, guys, let's read now quantifiers. Mitch, can you read about quantifiers, please?
All the table?
Yes, please.
Quantifiers. Quantifier. What means quantifier, by the way?
Quantifier, something that you use to quantify how much
Oh,
or how many. For example, you want to know if there are many students in the class, you say how many students are there in the class. But if then you want to know how much water you want to measure the water, you don't say how many water, you say how much water is there in the container. So something that you use to quantify, to count things.
okay. Quantifier. Many use countable nouns, usually in negative statements and questions. Example: There aren't many programs on TV that I find interesting. Much. Uncountable Nouns, usually in negative statements and questions. My dad never shows much interest in the news. Lots of, countable and uncountable, known nouns in positive statements. That film has won lots of awards. What I love luggage. What means that, teacher? Luggage.
Luggage, equipaje,
Luggage.
luggage.
Got a few countable nouns means some. There have been a few scandals in the papers recently. A little uncountable nouns means some. Um, they say that a little knowledge in is a dangerous thing. Few countable nouns means not many. Richard has few interest outside work. Little uncountable nouns means not much. The police have little information about the robbery.
Very good. Excellent, Mitch. Can you also read the warnings, what we should watch out?
Watch out. The phrase only a few means not many. Okay. What?
The
Eh,
phrase only a little.
The phrase only a little means not much. There are only a few programs on TV that I like watching. There's only a little sugar left, so get some when you go out.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Let's now do some exercises, please. Let's do the first one. Mickey, can you read instructions and read the first one, please?
Yes, sure. Circle the correct word or phrase. I love this time in evening.
I love this time in evening or in the evening when the sun is going down. Which one do you do? In the evening or in evening?
Mm, in the evening.
In the evening, yes, it's specific part of the day. Correct. Yes, very good. In the evening. Good job. Thank you, Mickey. Mitch, can you do number two, please?
Um, Play cricket?
Yes, cricket, correct.
Why did I say I love? People play cricket in South Africa, Australia, and Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Yes,
Sri, Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, correct. Very good. Number three, Mickey, please.
It's too far for it's too far to walk, so I think I'll catch the bus.
The bus, correct. Very good, guys. You're doing great. Number four, Mitch, please.
Jane, Jane had to go home from school because she had a
A
head,
headache.
head,
Headache.
headache,
Headache. Very good.
headache.
A headache. Correct. Uh, number five, Mickey, please.
The robber was sent to prison
Yes, correct.
for a total of 3 years.
Yes, correct. Very good. Number six, Mitch, please.
My cousin works as a waiter
Very good.
in a cafe near
Where we live.
where we live.
Very good, yes. Number seven, Mickey, please.
The underground doesn't run this late, so we'll have to take a taxi.
Very good, excellent, thanks. Number eight, Mitch, please.
I like to listen to music in my free time.
Perfect. Okay, very good. Thank you. Number nine,
My favorite subject at school is chemistry.
very good. Good job. And then the next one, Mitch, number 10.
For the teacher, what is the difference of favorite and favorite? It's just a greeting.
Oh, no, no, no. That's a very good point. Actually, that's a very, very good point. Thank you, Mitch. Favorite is a common spelling from the British. Favorite. And the Americans write favorite. So it's very, and this is a very notorious difference in English. The British write color, Americans write color. The British write harbor, and the Americans harbor. Uh, odor, I'm sorry, odor, and the Americans odor. So in many words, the British people put OU, whereas the Americans put O only.
Mhm.
Favorite, color, harbor, odor, etc. So I'm glad that you pointed that out, Mitch, because yeah, this is a distinct difference between the Americans and the British.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, jazz music appeared in America in in the 90s, 20s,
in the 1920s.
1920s.
Fantastic. Good job, guys. Good exercise. Well, let's do another one so that we put in practice what we're studying here. Let's do exercise B, please. Let me just get them all here in the same screen. Okay, here we go. Let's begin with Mickey. Mickey, can you read, please, the first one and the instructions as well, please?
Yes. Choose the correct answer. If no word is needed, choose D. Oh,
Okay.
I didn't tell you. We got a new
A new English teacher, yes.
a new English teacher.
Perfect. Mitch, the next one, please, can you?
Here's a DVD you asked to borrow. Oh,
But it's
here's the
Yeah.
DVD you asked to borrow.
exactly because it's a specific DVD, right? Perfect. Very good, Mitch. Thanks. Three, Mickey, please.
We're out of a coffee? No. We're out of the coffee.
We're out of is se nos acabó. Se nos acabó el café.
No word?
Exactly. No word.
We're out
Yeah.
es se nos acabó?
See, we're out of coffee.
Ah, okay.
Very good. We're out of coffee.
So could you get some from the supermarket?
Very good. Excellent. Number four, please, Mitch.
Um, the prizes is a unique opportunity to travel the world.
Perfect. Very good. Thanks. Number five, Mickey, please.
It looks like the glass.
The glass, correct. It looks like the glass. Can you continue reading the sentence?
It looks like the glass in your bathroom window is cracked.
Perfect. Number six, Mitch, please.
Um, it's an honor to
It's an
be
honor.
here.
Right?
It's an honor to be here this evening to speak to you.
This evening, it's an honor
This
to be here
evening.
this evening. Very good. Excellent. Excellent, Mitch. Good job. Okay, guys, you're doing a great work. Let's do number seven, please.
There's a good chance
There's a good chance. Very good, Mitch.
we'll be late for the meeting.
Fantastic. Right. Number eight, Mitch, please.
Reporters are coming in of a major oil spill in the Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean. Yes.
Mediterranean.
Excellent. Number nine, Mickey, please.
I went to see the doctor because I'm finding it difficult to sleep at night. No word.
No word. Perfect. At night. Excellent. Good job. Let's do now number 10, Mitch, please.
You can scroll down.
Absolutely. Let me do this. I'm going to increase the font size, then scroll down. I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. If
Yes,
not,
sure.
can you? If not, let me
Mhm.
just pull this down a little bit and then I go up again. And I just
Oh,
scroll
boy.
down like this. Here. All right.
Do you think that they'll ever send what means main?
Manned mission means that the mission has a man, not a robot or an animal or a machine. It has a man. It's a manned mission. A mission with men, not with animals or with robots.
Mhm.
Okay. Ever sent a manned mission to Venus?
To Venus.
No
Perfect.
words.
Yeah, no word. Excellent. Very good. Good job, guys. Fantastic. Well, I think we can continue with a couple more exercises because these are really, really good. Circle the
Mm-hmm.
extra word in each line. This is a good exercise always. Let me increase the
I
screen.
dislike this kind of exercise of the extra word.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny.
I'm very bad of it.
Well, but it's a good practice. It's a good practice. It's challenging. It's not easy. It's maybe the most difficult exercises because there can be many misleading situations. But let's see if we can do it. We normally can. Okay, please.
Um, Circle the extra word in each line. Being in the news. Uh, the many people who appear in the news for the first time
Okay, which is the extra news, the extra
could
word.
be the first.
Yeah, the first one, absolutely. This is extra. Actually, I'm
Mhm.
gonna cross it out.
Mhm.
Many people, correct. Can you read the second line, Mitch, please?
Uh, find that a sudden fame has a negative effect on their lives. The first A.
Exactly. That sudden fame has a negative effect on their lives. Yes, very good. Number three, please.
Mhm. The national press can be an unforgiven and the loss of. The national press can be. Is this second the?
The loss of the privacy.
No,
Mm,
can be an.
exactly. And perfect. Yes, the national press can be unforgiving,
Mhm.
not merciful. Can be very, very rude, very tough, very strong. The next one, Mitch, please.
Um, the privacy that comes with fame is an extra problem at a difficult time. Uh,
Remember that it says the loss of the privacy that comes from it comes from a previous sentence. So think of the context of the loss
Yes.
of the privacy.
the loss of the privacy that comes
Uh, well,
with fame is an extra problem.
the first the.
Yeah, the loss of privacy.
Uh-huh.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, the loss of privacy is a general concept that is not very good. At a difficult time, then what is the next one? Number five, please.
This is especially the case when someone is in the news because of the tragedy of the serious crime. The A.
The A. It's not when a someone, it's just when someone, because
Mhm.
otherwise it's redundant.
Yeah.
And the second sentence, Mitch, the news is someone is in the news because of a tragedy or the serious crime. Oh, that sounds serious crime.
The
The, exactly, or a serious crime. Can you read the sentence again? This is especially the case. Add down to
the
crime.
is in the news because of tragedy or the serious crime. This is especially the case when someone
No, I
is.
know when someone.
This is especially the case when when
Someone.
someone in the case in the news because of a tragedy or serious crime.
Very good, excellent, thanks. The next one, number seven. Then, just at the moment.
Just at the moment when you are under a most stress, you find ah
Exactly. Then,
you find microphones and the cameras in your face.
so which word is extra?
The
The microphones and cameras in your
in your
face.
face.
Okay, very good. The media have a responsibility to inform the public, but an innocent people.
The media have a responsibility to inform the public. Uh, and
And exactly, you don't say an innocent, you say, but innocent people are often hurt by the demand for the scandal.
The second
The
the.
Yeah, exactly. The demand for scandal is only like that. Excellent job, guys. Can you read the last sentence? The media have a responsibility.
Mhm. The media have a responsibility to inform the public, but innocent people are often hurt by the demand for scandal.
Exactly, exactly. Very good job, guys. Truly well. It went very smooth. Um, do you feel like you have time to present something for tomorrow? Tomorrow we have a class. I don't know. Maybe you have a lot of homework, and we continue doing some
No,
grammar and
teacher's
maybe
okay.
read a little bit. You can prepare something. Well, you have the 12 factors of business success. Why don't you choose a chapter that you like, and maybe we have a little summary tomorrow, and we also discuss it a little bit. Can we do that?
okay,
Yes, sure.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Fa-
Thank you. Hmm.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you very much. It's a good pleasure working with you as usual, and have a wonderful day.
thank you so much,
Thank you,
teacher, for
teacher, you as
having me.
well. Take care.
Take care. See you tomorrow. Good afternoon.
Thank
Bye
you, teacher.
bye.
Bye.
See you.
Take
Good
care.
afternoon.
See you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.